I run a six-figure software company using automated AI employees in my business. The reason I did this is because I found myself scaling incredibly quickly and I needed someone to come on board to help me, but it was very expensive to hire people and it took a very long time. So you can see here within 2 weeks, 2,000 people signed up for my software. I hit £5,000 of recurring revenue in under 30 days, $10,000 roughly in recurring revenue in under 60 days. So I ended up building the software to actually solve my own problem. And now this software essentially runs itself using itself as an automated AI employee. So I want to share with you today how a solo founder, that's me, operates a SaaS company using AI employees, how over 12,000 businesses signed up to this software to build AI sales agents and agents employees within their business to allow them to focus on the right things in their business and exponentially grow their revenue and profit. And also how this automation can do the job of 3 employees and save businesses over $30,000 per year. Now, as an added bonus, if you stay until the end, you're going to get free access to this exact automation framework that allowed me to scale my SaaS business. And also, depending on when this video is released, there will also be a free course which you can get access to. The link will be in the description. So, this framework that I built actually allowed me to scale this quickly, and I'm going to explain how all of this works. Because when we're building a business as a solo founder, when we're trying to build a successful business, we are typically focused on one of 2 things. It's usually marketing at the top of the pyramid, or it's marketing and sales. It's something that instantly drives revenue in our business. And that's what I did in all of my previous businesses. And every single business that I ran followed a very similar trajectory. It never really lasted more than a few months. So maybe you're in the position where your business isn't succeeding, or you're struggling to make revenue, or maybe even struggling to grow. And that's most likely because as a newbie business owner or a solo business owner, you're focused on the top part of this pyramid, because at the end of the day, those are high ROI activities. And I'm going to show you why that's a big problem and why just simply automating this bottom part of the pyramid is actually going to allow you to scale much quicker. So the bottom part of the pyramid is very boring stuff. This is stuff that we don't want to focus on day to day in our business, because by doing it, we can't instantly see an increase in revenue in our Stripe account. These are things like customer service. By doing this, if we respond to a customer's email, it doesn't necessarily mean we're going to make more revenue from our business right away. It doesn't necessarily mean we're going to get returning customers straight away. Same thing with working on product. So it depends on who you are and what you're doing. This could be something you really enjoy, but it doesn't necessarily mean that if I spend, 2-3 weeks building out a product, I'm instantly going to make money. But it does mean if I don't have a product, I can't sell anything. So it's a necessary product. The same thing goes with fulfillment. If you're an e-commerce business, you've got to focus on fulfillment and dealing with suppliers and tracking and all of that sort of stuff. But realistically, this isn't what's making you money. This is a result of making you money. When someone pays you for a product, you have to then go ahead and do this stuff. And it's really boring. So what we end up doing is focusing all of our time on content creation or advertising or marketing and sales, because we can see as soon as we release a video or as soon as we pay for some ads, suddenly we start to see some sales. But the problem with this is not sustainable, and this leads to a pretty quick decline in business. So the issue here is the base of the pyramid doesn't drive revenue, but the real question is, does it or does it not? Because in actual fact, it does drive revenue, and by building the base of the pyramid correctly, what's actually happening is you're setting yourself up for long-term success. So, is it actually a low ROI activity? Well, it depends on your mindset. If you're looking at it short term, yes. By working on customer service, we're not necessarily going to make more money this week. By working on our product, we're not necessarily going to make more money this week. But if we work on building a good business, then actually over the long term, we are going to be making a lot more money. And the reason for this is we're essentially building a funnel that we can push traffic into and then start to make more money. Once the pyramid has been built, it's going to support itself. And once it's supporting itself, we can then double down and focus on marketing. Now, how do I know this? Well, I have failed multiple businesses in the past. So I've actually tried literally everything to try and make money online. This is me. Actually, first business I ran was a car washing company. Wasn't going very well. That failed. I ran some e-commerce businesses. Those failed. Agencies failed. Again, more e-commerce and dropshipping. That failed. Agency, this failed. This one, $8,700 in a month. This did incredibly well. But at the end of the day, every single one of these businesses failed. And the reason that happened was because I was spending all of my time bringing on customers through content creation, marketing, and sales, but I hadn't built the foundation for my business. I hadn't actually built the customer service. I hadn't built the product, the fulfillment. I hadn't worked on all of these things that was going to maintain this business. So essentially, I was filling up a leaky bucket. So although this did $8,000 in its first month, that doesn't mean the business was going to be successful long term. And at the end of the day, we're building businesses because we need to draw a salary from them to live, and we want that business to last. So I thought I needed to hire people. I thought, you know what, this is the biggest problem I have. I'm working on marketing and bringing on customers, so all I need to do is bring on people to deal with the base of that pyramid, which makes sense. And you've probably done the same thing. You're probably wondering, who do I need to hire? What's the first things I need to do? For me, it wasn't a particularly complicated business, e-commerce. I had somebody doing fulfillment, and he was shipping out all of the orders. I then went out and hired a virtual assistant for customer service. They were going in and responding to all of the emails. I had somebody who was helping me build product pages and work on the website. That was another person that was like a web developer. And I very quickly started to build a proper foundation for my business. But I found myself in an endless paradox. And guys, this isn't like a trust me, bro. This is... If you understand anything about businesses, this is kind of how it works, especially if you're working on your own, and I'm sure a lot of you have experienced the same thing. What happens is when things start to go well, they're going really well. You're in a really good mindset, things are improving. But what happens is suddenly you start to realize that, oh shit, now I need to bring on somebody for customer service. So what would you do? Well, you go out and you start on a low ROI activity, right, in inverted commas. The time that you spend on that means you are now no longer working on marketing. Don't forget, right, you're a solo founder. Your time is split between all of these different things in this pyramid. You started off doing all of this, and this is what led to this initial growth. But now when you get to this point, the business is flattening out. It's not growing anymore. And the reason that's happening is because you do not have the foundations in place. So maybe it's customer service you need to work on. Maybe you need to update your product, film more course videos, or build more landing pages. Maybe you need to work on your fulfillment and your shipping times. Whatever it is, you then need to take your focus away from this and then work on this. So then what happens is your revenue drops. Once that's done, you can now start to focus on marketing again. But every step is a step up. It's a leg up. And the reason for that is because you're working on building the foundations for your business. I hope this is making sense to you guys. So as we work on the foundations of our business, gradually the minimum threshold for the amount of money we can make increases over time. But I've put in here 7 days and 14 days. This is just arbitrary amounts. But this shows you graphically what can happen in your business. You're kind of going through ups and downs, peaks and troughs. And it's possible when you clicked on this video, you're currently in a trough and you're trying to fight your way back out of it. And the biggest problem that most solo founders face is they can get stuck in this trough, trying to constantly, endlessly trying to improve their business, but not really knowing where or how to focus their time. Because now they've got to focus on all of these things, right? There's probably more things in the base of this pyramid. And then they're trying to keep content creation going. They're trying to keep marketing going. But at the end of the day, they haven't got enough money to invest in content creation. They haven't got enough money to invest in somebody to deal with the marketing. Maybe you can bring someone on commission only for sales, but they probably won't stay around. You can't hire somebody to do your products in customer service and fulfillment. You're not a big business, so you can't hire people to do all of these jobs. And this is where I ended up trying to build an AI automation. So as you remember right up here, let me just show you again, right? When I was building my business, I was facing the exact same thing. These aren't really obvious peaks and troughs, but you can see, maybe it's this one. Here we go. This is kind of like the beginning of a plateau in my business. We had very exponential growth and then things started to level out. And the reason that started to happen was because I was shifting my focus from marketing. So this is the marketing period. And then this period here is going to be, we'll just call this low ROI. Right? These are the things that need to be done in the business to maintain it. After this graph, it went back up again, right? And I can't share these numbers because of investors and other things in my business, right? But there you go. This is kind of what the graph will end up looking like as you end up switching between marketing, low ROI activities and marketing, right? So what we needed to do, and what I needed to do at this time, because I was just on my own, I needed to find a way of reducing this window, how much time was being spent here, or even better, just allow me to spend all of my time focusing on marketing. So imagine, instead of splitting it up my day, all of this time was spent on marketing. I could have continued this trajectory and I'd have been in a much better position had I not ended up spending all of my time on low ROI activities. So indirectly, by building a business properly and by working on things like customer support, working on things like product and fulfillment, I was actually increasing the amount of revenue my business was making just because I was able to spend this much more time, this is time here, right? This much more time on my business. And as a result, I was able to make this much more revenue as my business scaled. I hope this is making sense to you guys, and I hope this is sort of maybe something's clicked in your head about this. So what I ended up building was this product here, and it's a automated AI support ticketing chatbot customer service solution. So the idea in my business was I was getting down here, right, where is it? I was getting hundreds of emails from customers. A lot of them were just general questions on how to use my product. It is a software product at the end of the day, so people have to go in and manually learn how to use it. And that is a learning curve that people need to take. So a lot of these emails were people just asking general questions, and this information was on my website. I had training videos, I had tutorials on how to use the products on my website, but it was easier for people to email me than it was for them to go and find the information themselves. So I hired somebody to deal with those emails, and that was working, but it was quite expensive. And I basically wanted to cut out this stuff here, because although I am somebody dealing with customer service, I was dealing with all these other things as well. So I thought, right, now we're going to build an agent that can do multiple jobs for me at the same time. Not only do I want it to deal with customer service at this point, I want it to be able to gather information from my users so I know what's going wrong, what's working, what people want, and also ideally while it's doing this, if it can be increasing the amount of revenue that I'm making, what ends up happening is I'm growing at this rate. I then plug in this agent around about here, and that should allow me to continue with marketing. So we would continue on the same trajectory, but as a result of me working on marketing and it increasing my conversion rate, perhaps, it's going to put me on a different trajectory. And that's what I was aiming for. This gap here, this is what I was trying to do. It allows me to sustain marketing and keep on working on the things that grow my business, while also additionally adding to my conversion rate and increasing revenue. That was the initial goal. And if you like the sound of this, then keep watching, because it will help you out in your business, trust me. So basically the principle was this: we have a website, we train that website on all the data. It can answer people's questions, so common questions like, I want to track my order. It would give customer service information, right? And chatbots aren't a new thing. We've seen chatbots before, but it was using AI to be able to respond to people using my website's company information and then reply to those people. But then I started adding in things that would increase the ROI of my business. And it started to become quite successful because I was gathering people's emails, which meant I could then do email marketing to them. I could then send that to a software that was automating my email marketing. So now I was just inherently, by having this on my website, I was increasing how much money I was making from email marketing. I could actually have the product recommend products for people. This was a huge lever for me in growing my business. And guys, I've showed you the graphs of me scaling my business. I then started to test it out on e-commerce stores. So I, at the time, had a lot of e-commerce clients where I was marketing for them, just doing general bits of work. Started to test it out, and it worked with them. And it started to make them see a baseline of revenue that they were making in their business. So I ended up continuing to develop it. I thought, right, let's start to collect support tickets. So what happened was I was able to now not only answer people's questions, but I was able to actually then deal with those customer support systems. It can then categorize those supports. So when I'm building my business, when we're currently sitting in one of these dips here, previously, what I would be doing was responding to customers and then taking that feedback and putting it into a spreadsheet and then analyzing that spreadsheet and looking at the data and trying to see what was going wrong in my business. But now I had a sort of a holistic view of high priority problems in my business that were being dealt with automatically by this AI. But I also knew what were the most common problems. And here, the most common problems are account level issues. These are people who have issues with cancellations and refunds. So for example, I also have categories set up. Actually, I'll show you now. So within my software, I actually have the ability, so people have the ability to talk to these chatbots that I created. It can answer their questions. So basically, I'm not getting any emails anymore because people are just using this. It manages my customer support. But also, they can actually talk to a human by submitting a support ticket. But I'm also gathering features. I'm gathering ideas that people want from their product. I'm also... Let's see if that's come back. Yeah. So I'm also, people can do that within the support ticket chat. So what's actually happening now is I'm no longer working in these troughs. These troughs are now being dealt with. What ends up happening is it sort of bridges this gap. But instead of, imagine taking away this 7-day period, right? Imagine if we just move this to here. We end up taking this growth, although that's not very quick growth, sorry, this bit here. We end up taking this growth section and we end up moving it here. Which means in a shorter period of time, I can't really draw using my mouse, but in a shorter period of time, we are at the same revenue that we would be if we weren't spending time. So essentially it removes that 7-day wait period. Same thing goes here. this period here gets completely cut out, which means this growth that we added in here, this bit can get moved over to this bit here. And suddenly what's happening is the business is growing much quicker. So we're no longer operating in a slow system, because as a business owner, I'm handing time to an AI agent, which is then doing the job for me and allowing me to focus on running the business and bringing in new customers. Now, this agent can't do everything, right? It can't build websites. It's not going to be able to fulfill orders. But what it can do is deal with customer service. And when you're scaling, that's a very huge problem, because you're getting hundreds of customers a day. And when you've got hundreds of customers coming in per day, that's thousands of hours a year that you're spending in emails just responding to people. But then obviously you're increasing the number of emails that you're gathering. You're increasing the number of people that you can market to, the number of people that you can then convert back into customers. It allows you to increase your returning customer rate. And sort of inherently, as a result of all of this, these different things that have been attached on the end of the business are also increasing the growth of my business. So I'm inherently growing my business because I'm working on marketing more, but I'm also growing my business because the software is doing that for me. It's recommending products, so it's increasing my conversion rate. It's giving people a good experience with customer support. That customer support is automated. I can send out replies to people using SendGrid, for example. That means if they get a good experience, they're more likely to come back and buy from me again. Right, 64% conversion rate, returning customer rate. This is for this store, by the way. So they were, getting very good returning customer rates, and a big part of that was because their support was very quick and very automated. People were able to get answers to their questions. If they wanted to track an order, they could do. The chatbot can give them a link where to track their order. I think I've actually set it up in this one here. So this is the chatbot I was showing you, just to give you an idea. Maybe it's this one. If we go to this one here and we say track my order, what it's going to do is it's going to go to the website, it's going to look through all of the pages on the website, and it's actually going to give me the link to go ahead and track my order. So now we've opened up that link, it takes me directly to the tracking page. By the way, this is the chatbot actually that's been embedded on the website. So now it's answering people's questions, it's dealing with customer support. So it's incredibly powerful what you can do with these chatbots in your business. I ended up having a whole load of pros and a lot less cons in my business now, because I was no longer having to hire people. It was very quick to train these AI agents. It took me a long time to build the automation. It was quite expensive to build, but then people started to love it. And guys, if you're curious what my business is, all of this stuff that I've shown you here, all of this stuff here, this is my software company. My software company is ChatIQ. This allows people to create support agents for their business, which allows them to spend more time on what they love and marketing in their business and bringing on new customers. It allowed me to continue to grow my business. It's part of the reason why I was able to grow so quickly in the first sort of 6 months of running my software. And over 12,000 people have signed up to my software. You can see here, within 2 weeks, 2,000 people signed up. And now I'm going to get people questioning it. So here we go. This is another 8,000 customers that I got for my software. And again, you can see these peaks and troughs, peaks and troughs, peaks and troughs. These are when I am working on marketing. Like, this is a marketing period. This is me working on the business. This is a marketing period. This is me working on the business, right? These sections here, this is when I was doing a whole load of product updates, right? A big period of product update and working in the business. So all of these troughs are happening because I am working on things other than marketing. But now, obviously, because I'm using my own software to manage my customer service, these troughs are significantly smaller, right? They're very much like this, rather than very long troughs like this. And the longer a trough is, the more chance you have of your business crashing. Anyway, that is hopefully going to help you guys out. Hopefully you've learned some stuff. Now, I did say at the beginning you're going to get free access to this automation. If you click the top link down below in the description, it will take you to a website. Depending on when you click it, you will be able to get access to a free course. You can go ahead, have a look at that free course. It's going to teach you a whole load of stuff about how to grow your business, how to scale your business. If you've got any questions, that can be answered in there. It's like a community where we can all ask and answer questions and help each other out in business. And there's also going to be the option for you to sign up to ChatIQ, which is obviously my software company. You can get access to it for 7 days for free. It's a free trial. You will have to put in your card details, obviously. You can embed it into your website and you can actually see how this helps your business. Let me know, because I want to know if this is going to help you and your business. But hopefully this video helped you guys out. Like I said, the top link is down below in the description. If you've got any additional questions, obviously let me know.